Hello again, guys. Welcome back after the break. There was this technical issue. I think we got disconnected. So I think we are now showing eight participants. Two or three might join late. As they see we are disconnected, they will join. So I hope you had a good break. You had a good coffee. You had a good assignment time. And Rashida, I must congratulate you. You did an awesome job. Especially when you would do it very first time, you could do it very quickly. Now let's see who is going to share their screen or maybe just copy paste in the window. Who volunteers to share digital marketing measurement model for their organization? Don't worry about the accuracy, the correctness, or the rightness or the wrongness. Just share what you've written. Debu, would you like to share? Or Arghya, Kavita? Okay, Debu says not me. Okay. Uh, how about Vishal? Vishal, have you done this measurement model? Okay. All right. So looks like all right. So if you haven't done it, then consider this as an assignment for today. You're going to receive an email with the assignment. Kavita has done it. Kavita, would you like to share? That's okay if you're not sure. Nobody's sure. Even I'm not sure. So you uh, should I give you the presenter rights if you want to share? Okay, great. That's a courageous move by people who share their screen, and I must tell you, you're much ahead. All right, so now we can all see your screen, Kavita. Great to see that you have written so much on an Excel sheet. Okay, gooutfits.in. Would you like to unmute and tell us about what you've written? Okay, you don't have mic. All right. Okay, then I will have to read it out. I may not have the same passion towards your business, but let me read it out. Okay, Go Outfits, as the name abbreviates to, gaming outfits is one of its kind fashion store based out of Calcutta. The merchandise brand has its own facility ventured with top manufacturers from the region. Other than t-shirts, hoodies, zippers, caps, and jackets, Go Outfits also offers computer accessories such as mouse pads suitable for premium gaming experience. Wonderful. Understood. So I could see the positioning of the brand. So business objective, you were saying lead generation, build fan base, increase revenue, and brand reach. Okay, at this moment, uh, okay, let me read out strategies. More visitors, 20,000 per month is probably the revenue you're looking for, or users, I don't know. Tactics is welcome discount, free delivery for first order, 5% on DC and CC, which means some mode of payment. KPI is fan base connection, segment is local, non-local. Okay. Kavita, I must tell you, this is an amazing attempt. However, uh, I would want all of you to see this one video, uh, which is about perspectives. I will share this in the uh, email later. See, we are so busy doing business, and I can see Kavita where you're coming from. It's a great attempt, but we are so much into the business. Sometimes we forget the bigger picture. As I see it, if you talk to the CEO or I mean, the founder of this organization, or if you just zoom out a little, money is not a business objective. is a consequence of what you want to achieve. Maybe, uh, but your business exists. Business objective is what your customers will feel attracted towards. So, for example, okay, making money or increasing the revenue or lead generation or brand reach is something everybody wants. So imagine I'm an Infosys salesperson and I go to a potential client and they say, "What's your vision?" And we'll say, "We want to make money." So the business objective probably then will be to help billion-dollar clients run their technology, whatever as the core or something. I mean, so I'm just saying, if you could take a step back and design business objectives such that it looks like it is trying to solve a problem for the society, um, money will follow. I think everything else from there on looks like one level down. If you look at a strategy, then the strategy may look like that you will sell merchandise on top of games as opposed to selling games alone because you're all about experience of what you wear as opposed to what you play. So I think this merchandise is a great identity a gamer would hang on to while playing or while displaying that they play games. Sure. So great. So Kavita, I completely understand 10-15 minutes is not what this exercise is for. Whatever whatever you've written on an Excel sheet is an amazing approach. So I must congratulate you on your effort. Cool. Thank you so much. I hope people have understood so even if you've written it, whatever you've written, at least look at what has come out. Welcome discount, free delivery, 5% on debit card, credit card. You want to talk about fan base connections, more visitors. So I think all of this will now lead to uh, how do I now implement analytics? How do I now see reports? Okay, people want to share. So I can take one more. So let's see Vishal because Rashida has already shared. Okay, Vishal, I've shared the presenter rights. It will be great if you could unmute and speak. Vishal, would you like to unmute? Okay, you don't have mic. Okay, then I'll have to read it. Guys, spend this time in or money in buying a 200 rupee mic. I have seen having a mic taking your learning levels up. It's very important to have mics when you are learning digitally because nowhere else in 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 any digital marketing modules and workshops I have taken, we don't otherwise encourage peer learning. We always encourage top down. A trainer will speak and you guys will talk. And I think digital Vidya is the only place where people can talk, present, and peer learning is happening. Rashida taught us today. Vishal is teaching us today, and it's amazing to see you guys talking. And learning levels are always, exponential. Business objective is a nest where we bring a beauty of nature and the design of wall by presenting you the large number of tile and marble. Okay, this is complicated. If you could simplify it. Okay, I understood. So strategies bring people to an online platform for buying more number of tiles. Social media and web presence for creating a blog to engage and target large number of people to buy tiles for renovation. Tactics, discount and best shipping price. Free 3D modeling home design. Great. KPIs are faster delivery or time of delivery, you mean. Provide tile labor for the tile. Use interface of website. Okay. Handling customer. And then segment you've written local or abroad. Okay. Vishal, this is amazing. Especially for KPIs. Okay, let's revisit KPIs for a while. And I will ask you to do this exercise later in third session one more time. But if you look at KPIs, I gave example of a student who is passing a class, or maybe somebody who wants to lose weight, or an organization that sells style. If you look at performance indicators of a business, there are two types of such KPIs. One is input driven KPIs. The other is output driven KPIs. Input are those which which you have any control over, and output are those which you are expecting outcomes as. So, for example, the number of green teas I am drinking is in my control. Number of calories I am taking in is in my control. Number of kilometers I am taking in is in my control. In case if I want to lose weight, or if I want to get good scores in mathematics, I can take two tuitions. I can do an Baiju class, and so on and so forth. Output-driven KPIs, however, are looking at yourself in the mirror, checking your weight at regular intervals, or the delta of the weight every weekend, or body mass index, or fat percentage of the body. Now, if you look at the KPI factors now, what you've written, I find you've tried to become a little holistic and not keep it to website analytics, because delivery as a KPI is outside of your website. It's an offline thing. So which is great that you've written. It always starts from holistic view, and then probably you will see whatever can be measured in this web analytics. Provide labor. This I think is not a KPI. It's a verb. It's an action that you will do to attract more customers. Probably if the KPI you would like to write, it could be the soft skills of the labor, because that is going to impact future orders, or the star rating of thousands of laborers who are going and implementing tile, or putting tiles. User interface of the website, if you could explode it, there are 100 points inside it, and so on and so forth, including the bounce rate and time spent on the site. Everything else will come here. All right, so good attempt, guys. Very nice. Very nice. But I would say a lot of improvement also required, but that's okay. We've just spoken about it. So let's shift gears into something else. Um, and this something else is, see, look at the context. We spoke about the philosophy, we spoke about the terminology, we got a little narrower. We spoke about how to implement Google Analytics on my website. Then we spoke about, once we do it, what are the things we will look at? What are the KPIs in future that we will often log into the tool for? And then I'm talking about, after this, how do you essentially reach out to uh, the buttons of the tools we earlier spoke about? Which button to press so that the right music comes out? What is the configuration we are going to do in the tool so that the right reports come out? And hence, so for example, by default, how many people printed coupon on my site is not what Google Analytics tool will tell you. You have to configure it so that this number comes out. And hence, let's move to the configuration piece. Now, Kavita in between says difference between objective and strategy. Okay. Uh, Business objective is the dream you see while you are awake for your business. It is, where do you want to reach, or what do you want the world to know about you? Strategy is, how do you do it? That's the difference. So, for example, in this, Vishal wanted to lose 6 kgs, and he wants to probably impress his girlfriend. That's the vision or the business objective. He could either go a strategic route of going and hitting a gym, Gold's Gym. That's one strategy. Or he can say, hey, no gym, I will go the running way and run marathons. They are two very different ways of losing weight and becoming fit. In one, you do repetitions in the gym so that you become fitter. In one, you don't do any repetitions, you just run. and you develop your lean muscles. Both of them have different pros and cons, but they are both different strategies. It's about how you reach there. All right. So, in order to learn the configuration element of the tool, we will now keep on going back and forth into the tool and the PPT. And wherever I would want, I can now take names where you can now share your screen and start doing what I tell you right away, because that's the key. So, to first understand the account structure, while Rashida was creating a new account, she entered an account name, right? She wrote test account there. And she also entered a website name. She wrote Rashida's World, right? And then when she clicked on the get tracking ID, she got a tracking ID. Now, account is the logical name of your business, and the property is the websites or the mobile apps or the subdomains and so on and so forth that you can create that you would want to measure independently. For example, Procter and Gamble can be the account name, but Surf Excel, Gillette, Dove, Pantene.coms can be their website names. So whenever you create a property, you get a tracking code which looks like UA hyphen account number hyphen property number. So what Rashida copy and pasted in the Blogger settings page, UA stood for Universal Analytics, and that long number is the number of an account, and hyphen one is the number of the property or the website. The property, okay, why do we call it a property? Because it is a real estate. Like we call it a property, it is a real estate in the digital world that occupies some bits and bytes. So they're all called property. Anything that is visible to the outside world and consumes some space on the internet is a property. You can create multiple accounts, by the way, uh, and have properties under them, and hence making all the property IDs unique. Now let's go a step further. Under each property, you can have views. Now here things get important and interesting, which some of my clients don't understand. So you should try and understand this. What are views? Views are nothing else but data buckets. So we saw the collection pillar is picking data from the website and putting it somewhere. Where is it putting it? All the data comes and sits in a bucket. Imagine a bucket with water. And then imagine a digital bucket or a bucket, even a physical bucket with data inside it. This bucket is called a view. Now, when Rashida was creating a new account, she wrote the account name, she wrote the website name. She didn't write the view name, right? So where are they? So when you create a property, a view by the name of all website data or a bucket by the name of all website data gets created automatically. You don't have to create it, because whenever you decide to pick data from a website, it has to fall somewhere. So then automatically a bucket has been created for you. From that bucket, you can create reports. And then you may want to create more views, which may tell different things about data. You can create a master view, traffic data, browser data, geography data, so on and so forth. And you may want to observe these views independent of each other. So basically these views are, when you go to the admin page, you will see account, property, and view, like you see it here in the screenshot. I will just show you directly. So a view is data comes and sits in a bucket. And then you can create more views from it and name it anything like users from Chrome, users from India, users from mobile device, or something like that. Anything you want to observe. So you may want to observe Samsung mobile users on your website, independent of iPhone. You may want to observe Indian users independent of Pakistan users on your site, and so on and so forth. There are a few principles that views follow. that any new view that you create is an exact replica of all website data view. So whatever is here, when you say a create new view, it will create a new bucket, which will be a similar to all website data bucket. Views can host data from the time it is created, which also means no historical data will be inside it. Okay, this may be confusing, but hang on, confusion is the first step to wisdom. So let me directly jump to the tool and click on admin tab and look at this account, property, and view. So in a free Google Analytics login, you can create 100 accounts. That means 100 businesses. Inside each account, you can have 50 properties, and under each property, you can have 25 views. Now, views are only data buckets. They are not for external purposes. They are only for analytical internal purposes. So now let's see who gets it right, who's listening to me carefully. So here's a quiz time. So Vishal, don't worry about this. These are only view. I can name them anything I want. Uh, so the quiz is, how many websites can you manage in a single Google Analytics login? 100. Okay, let me tell you that's a wrong answer. Do you want to change your answer? Okay, Rashida says 25. That's also a wrong answer. Any other guess? Okay, Dave was saying hundreds. Okay, this can't be wrong, but you have to. Okay, so let me tell you. Okay, Arghya is saying 5,000. How do you say that, Arghya? Why 5,000? Okay, so people who are saying no limit or infinity, somebody has to give you that storage space, right? So why will Google Analytics give you free storage space? I mean, it gives you, but not for infinity. So did you guys know in your Gmail, you can only have 15 GB of data, and after that you have to pay to receive more emails? I have recently hit 15 GB. So why will Google give you unlimited data for unlimited websites? It won't. Okay, so you can have 100 businesses, 100 accounts, and under each account you can have 50 websites, which means 100 into 50, 5,000 websites you can analyze or manage in a single login. Good. So now you guys understood. So account basically is a business name, nothing else. Property is a website. So we were speaking about views. So when you create a new property, the moment I create a new property, all website data will emerge here. Now, if I click on create new view, it will automatically create, it'll automatically create a new view with whatever I may want to name it. So let me click here. So I will write something and put a time zone, whatever that time zone is. And when I say create new view, it will become an exact replica of all website data view, but with no data in it. I mean, it's a fresh bucket, but with nothing inside it. But from the time, so let's say if I create a view at 12:10 p.m. on 15th of October, it will then start to have data of whatever is happening on the website in that view from 12:10 p.m. onwards. And whichever view you select here, so I've created, let's say, Asia Pacific view. I have created this view because I wanted to see Asia Pacific users in this bucket only. Everything else I don't care. I should remove them. There's a bucket I've created, only Asia Pacific users can get into it. And then whenever I click on any reports, it will show me that views report, whatever is selected in the drop down. That's it. Now, views also have a different purpose. Let me give you another example for better understanding. Let's say Arghya, Vishal, and Kritika. Three of them are the sales and marketing manager of a company who are looking at three different geographies. Let's say Argya is looking after Asia Pacific, Vishal is looking for Europe, Kritika is for US. Now, Argya says, I don't care about what's happening on the website from worldwide. Don't tell me what's happening in US. Tell me what's happening in Asia Pacific users. They are my potential target audience. So what I will do is I will create a view called Asia Pacific view. Ensure that she gets only these users get to see get into this bucket. I will click on user management, and then I will write Argya's email here, whatever is her mail ID. I will give her rights to manage, edit, collaborate, notify this user by email, and the moment I say add, Argya will receive an email saying that Satyam has given you access to your company's Asia Pacific view only, because I'm giving her access in this view. If I were to create a new view called, let's say, US users, okay, there is no, let's say if I create a new view of US users and then I will give access to Kritika for that. Now let's say Argya gets promoted. She's now not only looking at Asia Pacific, she's now become global head of her brand. And Kritika and Vishal are now reporting to her. So I will give Argya user rights at website level, the property level. Now let's say Argya gets promoted even further. She is now not only looking at that website or that brand of Geo or Reliance Fresh or something. She has become global head for all the brands, and different brand heads report to her. Then I will give her access at the business level, where anybody who has access at the account level can see all the properties under them and all the views under those properties. If I give access to any property level, at any property level, then they can see only that property and view. If I give access to only view level, then the person will be able to see only that view data. Simple. Now, if you look at these three verticals on your screen, which under account there are a few buttons, under property there are a few buttons, and under view there are a few buttons. These are those buttons I earlier asked you to envision a tape recorder and some buttons on it. This is called configuration box. The difference between a great digital marketer and a good digital marketer is that a great digital marketer understands the use of these buttons in detail. In the next half an hour or so, or maybe 45 minutes till the time we finish this class, let's start with filters, because that is the topic which is already on without you realizing, that how will Asia Pacific users get inside this bucket? Just by naming it, it does not mean Asia users will start getting into it. You have to apply filters. So what is a filter? What is a filter, guys? As the name itself tells you, filters are like normal filters that we have in our kitchen also. Our AquaGuard or reverse osmosis and so on and so on. A filter, they actually pass through something that we need and reject those things which we don't need. Exactly what it does in analytics as well. It gives you quality data and removes the data that will prevent you from getting amazing reports. So it allows something to pass through it. It sometimes does not allow things to pass through it. There are two types of filters. Actually, there are two categories of filters. Types are more. One is called as hard filters, and the other is soft. Hard filters are those which, if applied once, cannot be reversed. I mean, even if you reverse them or you delete them, the data that you've lost forever. You cannot recover. And that is why it is said you should never apply a hard filter on all website data, because this is the raw view of the website. If you actually apply some filters on top of it, and if something goes wrong, then you have corrupted the raw data of your website. Soft filters are those which does not change anything, but they from the front end show you what you want to see. That's all. So have you seen those filters on Excel sheets on the top row that you apply to see the data that you want? They are soft filters. So when you apply a filter, it does not mean the filter conditions you have applied will remove the data that you don't want. It just hides them and it shows you what you want. When you remove the filter, all the data shows up again. Those are soft filters. Imagine a Excel sheet filter where once you apply it, delete rest of the data which doesn't satisfy the condition. So those are hard filters. Okay, simple. So let's say I was working with one of my startup friends who, while they were working on their website, they were a 10 people company, and their own employees were visiting their website multiple times over during the month. And in fact, they themselves used to visit the website so much because they were working on fine tuning the website just to see how it is looking on the front end. So those 10 employees going to their website 100 times a day will inflate the number of sessions, right? It will show as if the traffic is much, but in actual they're on their own employees. So how do you apply a filter that that filters out that employee data and actually shows you what is the real data on your website? How do you apply that? Any guesses? What is the logic on which you will apply? Of course, you will use filters, but on what basis? Any answers? How will you logically filter out people from a same organization? Official IDs can be avoided. Okay. Prerit says IP address. Okay. Any other answer? Yeah, Vishal, I'm asking how will you trace them? So, Debu, let's say if I go to infosys.com, or if I go to flipkart.com, or if I go to digitalvidya.com, do they ask me my email ID or official IDs before I see their content? They don't, right? Shreya says you create a group of those particular members by their email, phone numbers, and then they may get filtered out. So, Shreya, when you go to your company's website, whichever company you work on, do you enter your phone number and email ID in the front end? You don't. So when the website doesn't even know your mail and phone number, how will they filter you out? Kyor is saying depending on the designation. They're not even asking designation. The filtration will happen only on the information that the website knows. Debu is saying geography. Good, very good answer, Debu. So let's say that I am from TCS or one of those large scale companies that are globally present. And let's say I have a small office in New York. So Debu, I will say filter out people from geography equal to New York or city equal to New York. But city of New York may also have my customers. So I will filter them out. It's a larger blanket. It will filter many other people out also. Shreya says, then you probably filter out with IP addresses of office computers. Well, that's the right answer. Because you staying inside an office or even connected to a Wi-Fi inside office, even if it's a laptop, then you're all connected to the same proxy server, which makes your IP address not, not common for all, but at least you know IP addresses of all. So what you do is you go click on filters, and there are two types of filters, predefined and custom. In this case, let me show you how predefined works. Custom is more flexible. And then there are three drop downs shown to you. The first will give you two options, exclude or include. The second dropdown will give you some four options: traffic from IP address, ISP, host name, subdirectories. And the third is that are equal to, that begins with, that ends with, and that contains. So in the three dropdowns, I will select it to make it look like a statement, that exclude traffic from the IP addresses that are equal to this. You fill the IP address form and then you save it. Now, first things first, if you exclude or if you apply this filter, it does not mean that the person with this IP address cannot access my site. It can still be accessed by this IP address. It's just that you're ignoring this person in backend analytics. All right. Now, the second question is, what if not 10? What if we have 1 lakh employees? Are you going to do this one by one for 1 lakh people? The answer is no. The third filter, which says that is equal to or that are equal to right now, you will change this to that begins with. And because all of you people are connected from the same proxy server, the first few digits of your IP address will be the same, and the last few digits will make each machine unique. So you will write that begins with, and you will write a few names, a few digits, a few numbers here, and then you apply. And this will blanket out all those employees who are connected to the same server. And if there are 5 servers in 5 locations or 50 servers in 50 locations, that 50 servers will actually filter out lakhs of employees. Okay, let me show you before we do PPT. So how do you apply filters? So let's say this view is Asia Pacific view, right? So let's start with applying filter. Okay, let me just first show you random filter which we just did. So create a new filter. What's the name? Write some random name. Should I zoom in? I think it will be better if I zoom in. Yeah. So write a filter name. There are two types of filters, custom and predefined. We have just learned about predefined. Forget about custom for a while. And there are 3 drop downs: exclude or include, traffic from IP address, which is equal to my IP address. So let me see what my IP address is. Okay, my IP address is this. Okay, cool. So I copy this and I paste it here and I apply it. Now, basically at this moment, though the name is filter test name and the view is Asia Pacific view, if I go to my own website right now, I will not show up in reports. Let's see, though filters take some half an hour to apply, but let's see what happens. If I go to my Marketonomics website right now, so I am on the site, right? Let me go to real time overview and it shows 0. That means filter is applicable. And look at this, I am on the site right now live, but it doesn't show anything. So filters work. It is not like it does not. So let's say if I go to filters again. Okay, by the way, let me change the view to all website data, which has no filters applied. Oh, there is one applied. Sorry. We should not have applied it. But let's see if there is any other view which has no filter applied. Okay, so this Diwali 2017 is a view which I think one of my participants who's using this dashboard has applied, but there is no filter in it. Now, if I go to the real-time reports now, here I am, 1, and I am from Bangalore. So you see, I am actually visible in a view called Diwali 2017 because there was no filter applied. But the moment I move to Asia Pacific view where there was a filter applied, I will show 0 here because I don't satisfy the condition. So tomorrow, if I want to create a filter with, okay, let me show you other views and then probably you will understand. Go to filters, let me remove it and let's apply a new one. And now let's talk about geography. Or let's talk about my customers. And now let's move to custom filter. Predefined is easy. I mean, anybody can do it. Custom filter is where fun happens. So it asks you the same thing, exclude or include or lowercase, uppercase. We'll talk about search and replace everything later. But let's say if I want to, let's say this website is only catering to Indian audience, right? And I want to apply a filter. Now in predefined, there were only four drop downs. Look at this custom filter, what all things are possible. Right from request URL to certain campaigns that you may be running. You may be running a big billion day sale campaign or end of reason sale campaign. All of those can be configured here. Any particular e-commerce transaction, any operating system or browser or screen resolution or mobile devices or IP address or location to from country, state, and city. Imagine the number of filters you can apply. So possibilities are immense. Let's start with country, and then I will write India. Now, the moment I write India and apply or save this filter, only those users who are coming from India are going to show up on my dashboard. That's all. But there are a few options or um, few functionalities that we all should understand, should learn about this tool. One is verify this filter. Verify this filter is an amazing thing, by the way. It tells you the impact of this filter if this filter was applied 7 days ago. So look at this. Based on traffic from previous 7 days, what would have happened if you would have applied this filter 7 days ago? So I have just written include country India. So the moment I click verify this filter, it is going to tell me what all countries I am about to exclude in this particular view. So currently it's showing nothing because it was a newly created view. Rather, let's go to that Diwali 2017, which had no filters applied. Hopefully 7 days old. So exclude, let's try exclude. Yeah. So it says if you would have applied this filter 7 days ago, you would have excluded 182 sessions and 578 page views. I hope you remember the definitions of these, right? And similarly, if I would have said include country equal to India, then let's see what would have happened. Yeah, then you would have excluded people from Australia, Bangladesh, Canada, Denmark, Egypt, Germany, Ghana, Hong Kong, Indonesia, and all of those countries from where you're getting users today. So you're about to exclude all of these. Now this also helps. So sometimes you don't know the spelling. Sometimes you get confused. Should you write United States of America or should you write USA? Should you write US of A or should you just write US? Or when you are writing the city New Delhi, should you write Delhi or should you write New Delhi with a space, without a space? So it doesn't give you a drop down. You have to write and see whether it matches the query. So for example, let's write the word United and let me verify the filter. Okay, so since this is a include filter, let's try exclude country equal to United and verify this filter again. Great. So you are just about to exclude people from UAE, UK, and US. So it tells you what are the spellings you should be using, which you should exactly match. And once you verify this, you exactly know whether the filter is going to work or not. At least that you will know. Similarly, if you do a city and you write New Delhi or whatever you want to write, let's see what happens when you write new. Okay, it shows New Delhi, New York, Newport News, Newcastle upon Tyne. So I think these are all city names. So you know which one to write. So this sometimes helps you, and this actually helps. So for example, this company, which is I'm, I can't share the name, which sells musical instruments across the country, India. I think it's the only famous one, which if you do some mental math, you will know. And they're the only players, big players in the country. And they have different zonal managers, city managers across the country. So, for example, there is one sales and marketing manager in Delhi, and one in Mumbai, one in Chennai, one in Kolkata, and so on and so forth. So, they actually do exactly this. They create filters and apply them on a view and give Delhi access to Delhi person, Mumbai access to Mumbai person, so that they know what's happening inside their city, which particular product on their website is most viewed, and all of those later reports will be more relevant to their geography. And hence, I repeat, we are currently talking about configuring reports and not looking at reports. So all of these will help us look at reports that we want to see. So I think the last topic of the day, which I want to share with you, is this. Hang on. So there's a case I want to share with you. One of my client who was working in US, so it was a local business. I should say a national business. They were not selling outside of US, so they were not international yet. And so my client said, Satyam, I want to create a view. I respect that people from across the world are coming, but I want to see the US people's behavior. So he very simply went on to the admin panel, create a view called customers, and applied country equal to US and started seeing US users. Now, only lately, he expanded his business footprint to a neighboring country called Canada. So he went and applied another filter. What do you guys think will be the output of this filter? There was something messy when he did this. Now, whether will he see both the countries' data, whether he will see only US, only Canada, what do you think he will see? Or will he see none, or will he see both? Kavita says both. Debu says he will miss US. I'll repeat the question. When my client applied two filters in a view saying include country equal to Canada, include country equal to US, what will be the output? Will he see both the countries? Will he see one country? Okay, now Debu is changing the answer. Is everybody saying both? Is anyone saying it he will see only US or you only Canada? Okay, so let me share a concept with you and then you might want to change your answer. So, okay, Kritika says none of these. Okay, so they are extreme answers. Anyone else on Kritika's side? Okay, so let me take you back to your 8th standard physics. Did you do electrical connections in series and in parallel? You know, when bulbs were connected one after the other, and then when bulbs were connected in parallel. Okay, if you don't remember, that's fine. Whenever you put filters one after the other, they're always applied in series or and condition. They are not or condition, which means the input to the first filter is all right, Jihan. So I see your message. That's all right. So the input to the first filter is always global data. And based on certain things, some data gets rejected based on the filter. The output of the first filter becomes the input of the second. The output of the second becomes the input of the third. Output of the third becomes the input of the fourth. In this case, look at this use case. Global data goes into first filter. Everything else gets rejected. Only US users filter out, including Canada users. They've been filtered out already. And those US users go into a filter where the filter is looking for Canada users in them, and hence they will find nothing. The output is zero. And my client said, hey, my software is buggy. I'm not getting to see data which I should. There is a bug in the software. Let's call Google. Rather, he should have applied an or condition with United States or Canada, isn't it? So I think you guys have. Let me open a whiteboard or paint. I'm sure all of you understand Venn diagrams. Do you all understand Venn diagrams? Yeah. So let's say if this is universal data or global data, and if this circle represents US and this circle represents Canada, now they are non-overlapping data. A person can belong to this country or that country. A person cannot belong to both, isn't it? Because they are not non-intersection. There is no intersection in between. Or let's say in my own website, I've done this filter. Okay, let me do the same thing again. This is, let's say, India users, and this is Pakistan users. Okay, my disclaimer. The circle is small only because of the population, not that I mean something else. So, so, um, so there is no overlap. Even if a person who is traveling from one country to another, there will be a point in time where you will leave your demographic location as India and pick up Pakistan or otherwise. Okay, unless somebody is Rajnikant, it cannot happen. However, if you look at it like this, that this is called, let us name this as Indian users, and this is a condition that says males. Now in these two filters which are applied one after the other, there is an overlap. So when you apply these two filters, something will come out because they are non-mutually exclusive. They have an overlap. But two countries don't. Or let's say if I apply another filter of age bracket between 21 to 25, the overlap of these three filters which I'm coloring yellow is the output if you apply three filters one after the other. And hence, my client, when he applied multiple filters, in fact, I've already applied in some. Okay, so there are two filters applied here. And therefore, on the left hand side, you see it says rank. It does not say serial number. Because the rank 1 filter gets global data inside it. And output of rank 1 becomes the input of rank 2. All right. But then how do we apply OR filter? Should I tell it or should I leave that as an homework? What do you guys say? But guys, are you understanding it until now? Because filters and then these views allow you to configure reports that will, uh, that will kind of bring the reports that business wants to see. Vishal says a little hard to understand. Okay, Vishal, that's fine. That's okay. Right now, what we've done is we are looking at views and we are applying filters on it. That's all. And even if you understand partially or 30% or some percentage, the more reports we look at, the more of these views will get clear. But I must tell you, I'm a self-learner of analytics, by the way. I had no teacher. And I was struggling to use these tools by myself for a long time. I think it took me around 3 to 4 months to at least click on all of those buttons. And one by one, as I was learning, I was Googling. And I understood filters probably towards the end of 4 months because I was never, uh, but that's okay. The more you use the tool, you'll become more familiar. Okay. So Debu, I'll tell you how to use multiple filters. Then we will skip the day. I mean, we'll be done for the session. So let's say if you are applying filters with an OR condition, let's apply in on Asia Pacific itself. Okay, so Rashid, I was asking the same question, how to apply OR and AND filter. Okay, going there. So let's say Asia Pacific view. Asia has multiple countries, right? So I'm adding a filter and writing the filter name also same Asia Pacific. Custom include multiple countries. So I will again select countries here, country, and I will first write India. If I write India and save, then if I apply another filter on top of it and call it Asia Pacific again, let's say custom include country. Very simple, no? We just have to kind of keep clicking. I will write Nepal. All right, save. Now, Rashida, to answer your question, when you apply these filters one after the other, and so on and so forth, they are called as applied in AND condition. So if I say include those users who are coming from India and include those who are coming from Nepal, the output will be zero because AND means satisfying both the conditions. However, if you were to apply OR, you remove this one of these, then edit Asia Pacific and write multiple countries here. And how do you write it? Then you write it India, standing stick button, right? Nepal, Bangladesh, and so on and so forth. Now, this expression between two countries is standing stick button. In my keyboard, um, it is shift backslash just above the enter key. Probably one of the least used keys on my keyboard, so I'm giving you a use of it. And the space between the two names is only to show you there should be no space between this. Or how many other countries you can do. These is called OR condition. Now, how did I get to know this standing stick is an OR condition? How? I'm not making it up. So there is something called as learn more about regular expressions. So you click here, it will open a help section and it will tell you various things that you can use in the field. So for example, it says the standing stick creates an OR match 1 or 10. So there are many more that you can use. I'm leaving for homework and assignment will come where you will practice all of this. But essentially now you know at least how to apply OR condition. Good, Rashida, answered your question. Same with Debu. You can do the same with city also, right? So maybe there's a single person managing multiple cities. So I will write new space Delhi because that's how the name is spelled. Then Gurgaon, now it's Gurugram by the way, and Noida, and call this filter name as NCR, let's say, right? So that's how people use it. And when I apply this filter, then I am saying that I'm going to see people from all three cities. Understood? Or I may apply a different filter. Let's say this is too much of geography. We can apply people from browser equal to Chrome. Let's say we might have been facing some issues, and this is actually one of my client did this. They actually were seeing their average session duration on the website in the last 3 months have come from 4.5 minutes to around 3 minutes, which is a big shift in 3 months when they were trying really hard to create the average engagement on their website. So they realized they have made all good changes. All their content is now more images, more content, and videos and so on and so forth. But how come the time was decreasing? So we applied few filters and realized that though the website is getting updated every now and then, the engineering team has been focusing on Chrome itself without realizing 18 to 20% of our users are still coming from Internet Explorer. And with every update, the, the Internet Explorer version of our website was looking messy. So, in some cases, it didn't even open. But I think these days the percentage of IE has come down to around 7 to 8%. But there are certain people, certain organizations who care about how they're looking on Internet Explorer. And because the average time spent on IE users was as less as 5 seconds and 10 seconds because the website was messy, they were moving out. The average time spent on the website average came down to 3 minutes with those recent updates on the website. How do you get to know all of this? By observing them independently. By the way, you don't always have to apply these filters, though, as I told you, these are hard filters. We will talk about soft filters also towards the end of third session. All right. So I think it's around 12:50, and just wanted to ask one more thing. How many of you are aware of GAIQ exam? GAIQ. Anyone has heard of this before? Okay. Okay. Good. So GAIQ exam is an exam conducted by Google on Google Analytics. And I'm asking this question because I took this exam this morning just to see. I think a demo exam or a real exam, I don't know. But these days now the format has changed. In case you want a certification by Google, you need to clear this. And I must tell you, in the industry, the certificate of digital Vidya is valued at par with certificate of Google. I must tell you that because I keep recruiting. Um so, in case you are planning to give the certification, the format now has become 70 questions in 90 minutes. And I've also realized uh, that the difficulty level of questions have come down so much that it was a cakewalk for me. I answered all 70 questions in 9 minutes. I had 81 minutes to spare. It's a multiple choice questions, and I got 92%. Yeah, 9 minutes. So I just selected, I read the one line questionnaires, selected the answer, and moved. And I got 92 because I was really just checking the format, not that I wanted to clear it. So I was just clicking next, next, next. If you guys will go through this exam, read questions carefully, not like me in 9 minutes. You have 90 minutes to do it. I am sure it's a cakewalk. You're going to get 100%. But hang on till you be there in session 4 and do some assignments. And after that, you can take it like it's a child's play. Okay, why I recalled this exam here? Because in today's exam, out of those 90 questions, I remember at least 15 to 20, or out of the 70, 15 to 20 were about filters. And they were very simple. All of those I've covered. So, so it's easy, chill. It's just that practice makes you perfect. No certificates. So I think this is enough from my side for today. I could have picked up another topic, but that would take another 50 minutes to 1 hour. So I will skip that. Oh yes, I forgot to remind you, there is no session next time because it's Diwali time. And I must congratulate or wish you all a very, very happy Diwali, and it's a week of festivals. So do celebrate your week and have good sweets. Don't burst crackers. And Give feedback, whether good, whether bad, doesn't matter. Do give feedback, it's very important. And I hope today's session added some value. You now know about web analytics a little more than what you knew by 10 a.m. this morning. All right, guys, have fun, enjoy. Yeah, there is no session next Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, but we meet after that, and we meet 2 consecutive Sundays after that to finish our workshop. And keep in mind, the more people get mic, the collective learning abilities of students will go up. And that's out of my experience. If I continue to speak, it's going to be an FM radio channel, which I don't want you to do. All right, guys, have fun, enjoy, and bring mic. Yes, Priya just spoke about it. We don't have class next week. We meet after that, the week after that. Yeah, my mail ID in case you just sharing it here. See you. Bye bye. Have fun and enjoy your weekend.